Lord have mercy. Why? Why you got to be so good?
No.
It's not fair. Okay, so this is what I wanted to impart to everybody out there. Rhythm's fun.
It is.
Like if I could play a rhythm like that, I'd just be like, I'm good. I'm all rhythm all the time.
I've definitely spent more time playing rhythm than lead.
Well, of course, that makes sense. Well, you never know. You know, sometimes, you know, you go to a blues gig and there's like 9 hours of solos and like 30 minutes of rhythm. But you obviously have put in your dues. If you guys don't know, by the way, this is Kirk Fletcher. Amazing guitar player. We've got lots of videos with Kirk. Make sure you check them out.
Woo.
We're going to leave some links down below of Kirk's stuff because he's got Instagrams. You got a YouTube channel. He's going to be posting every day, he told me. And we have a course that's awesome. It's called Player's Perspective with Kirk Fletcher. It's going to be on sale this weekend only. I'm going to leave a link to, actually, you know what? We're going to leave an evergreen, some sort of sale link down in the description box below. But the big discount is this week when it comes out. And it is all about how to make stuff feel good. And it's not just lead, it's rhythm too. So we got rhythm stuff, lead stuff. It is a majority of lead playing, different levels of phrasing. So it's not just stuff like that where you're like, I can't do that. There's something for everybody. But the emphasis is on feel, both rhythmically and lead wise. So it's, you know, like for me, I'm like, this is what I need. Because I got enough licks under my belt. Now I need the feel. I want to know how to make stuff feel really good. And you are the man when it comes to that.
Man.
See, and he's humble too. It's like, see, some guys would be like, well, you know, that's true. Anyways, so your rhythm chops are freaking terrifying.
No.
Terrifying. No, for real.
You know, the rhythm guitar, I played a lot of rhythm guitar growing up and everything like that. And my older brother got me started playing guitar, and he really emphasized learning rhythm. He was good. He passed away. But yeah, he was really good.
Okay, all right.
He was really good.
All right.
Yeah. And but I had this gig that I used to do at Harvell's in Santa Monica, California a few years ago. I know, right? Santa Monica.
This horrible gig in Santa Monica.
Right? What made it even more crazy was James Gatson was playing drums. And this gig lasted for like a couple years, you know. So just standing playing with James Gatson, it really,
he was sitting.
It really kind of, my rhythm and the way I played really took on a different perspective because everything he played, he could play the simplest beat like dun, 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 or anything, and it would have so much feel. Sure. And he would just be so locked into the groove in a really soulful way. I never really heard in person anybody play drums soulful.
Okay.
Like you're hitting on things. Yeah. How can it be, you know?
It's not soulful to beat something.
Yeah, it's just the beat, you know, but like he added so much to that and it made me, you know, it influenced me, you know, just the way he would play, you know, and ever since then, you know, I would really try and everything that I play, rhythm or lead, just really try and state it and really try and lock into it and add that like human element to it, like that breathing, that pulse, that kind of human thing to make you want to.
Well, how do you do that? Like,
know?
give me an example. So if you took just one chord, a stagnant chord rhythm, like how do you start to do that? Like take us from basic to like stepping it up to making it feel more and more.
Yeah. Okay. So like, you know, you could play,
okay.
Right? You know, and there's probably a lot of people that will probably play it like that. That's okay. It definitely serves a purpose. It does what it's supposed to do, you know, gives you that feel. But I would probably, you know, go, okay, well, let's try and swing this. Let's try and make it feel like super funky and make people like go like this. And
you want people dancing.
You know, I'm cutting it off and I'm adding more swing and a pulse kind of with my
You're doing a whole lot over there. You got to break that down.
Because that's the way he would play the drums.
Yeah. You did like backwards rake and stuff.
Yeah, just trying to copy James Gatson.
Try to break it down a little bit more. Okay, then speed it up. Okay, that was fucking awesome.
So without the chord, it's like. It's all these different weird like beats, and that really started like when I was in school and I would play beats on the desk, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it sounds like someone's working a hi-hat too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
and James had a different approach to the drums. He had a different way that he would play. And that really, I tried to get as close as I could to that kind of feel like he was getting. And it was just this thing. It's this real, to me, it's about dancing. It's about that dance, that feel that kind of makes you just kind of want to move.
Yeah.
Even like when you hear your favorite song on the radio, it's like, it might be Africa by Toto. That's a heck of a groove they got going on that song. Or Rosanna, you're just like, and they really had that. Yeah. They had the pop sensibility as well as Jeff Porcaro laying it all the way down.
What's that beat called?
The Rosanna.
Yeah.
The Rosanna beat.
There's a name for it. I forget. The Purdy? Something.
The Purdy Shuffle?
Purdy Shuffle.
Oh, yeah. It's like Steely Dan. Yeah.
So good. Okay, so you have the movement over here. Yeah. What starts happening with this hand?
Well, you just, like you mute and you get off the strings, as they say.
Okay.
Because if you hold down the strings too long, it's not going to sound the same.
Work.
So you kind of have to be staccato and percussive with both hands.
Okay.
So it really does become like drums.
Sure.
And that's kind of the essence of funk in general. Like if I just, for a minute, play a ninth chord in E, you get off of it,
Movement-wise, when you play with the chords though too, a lot of what makes your rhythm playing super cool too is not only is this amazing, but you slide around and do really cool rhythm chops, like not just cutting it off, but like cool stabs in different spots. And you were doing some of the stuff in the intro.
That was out of boredom when I was young. You get bored of playing rhythm all night going.
Sure.
So you just start. So that really I have to.
If you did that kind of funky thing, like what would you start doing? Like
what you
would just
E9
Sure.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh man, the world is.
Well, let's dive into that world, man. That's what we're here for.
See, all the time I'm lifting up.
Okay. Sliding in.
It's really important to try and get really loose with your right hand, because it's about technique, and you have to have a certain amount of technique to execute certain things, whatever that might be. Neoclassical or this. To add to it. I might play double. Usually everything is double stops. It's so powerful to play double stops. So I might go. It's not about. Oh.
Where's that coming from?
Oh, well, this is just sliding up this chord, just two notes of the 9,
That's awesome. Where do you hear this kind of stuff?
That's like just a major, E major chord.
Where did you start hearing it though?
Well, I heard a lot of it live, because I was playing with my brother and like funky bands and, like top 40 of the 70s soul music and things like that. So I heard a lot of it, just by my brother playing it and as well as on the radio and things.
What are a couple examples of like stuff like that that's real funky, but also has some cool stuff happening around the chord?
Well, you got the Ohio Players, and you got Parliament Funkadelic, and James Brown. Okay. Ultimately, James Brown, because that's sort of like where all of that real stripped down funky stuff, started. And really, you can break it down to like that chord again, right? Now, there's many times that people play the ninth chord, and everybody plays it a little different.
Yeah.
Because you can really do different rhythms with your right hand so many different ways. Like say, or you can play. It's really about just trying to make everything you play mean something.
Okay.
Really.
So the Hendrix stuff that you were doing was freaking killer too. Do you remember what you were doing?
Well, no. But the Hendrix stuff is really...
Speaking of double stops.
Yeah. I mean, that's really almost like a sort of like a implied thing. That feel is like... More so than playing a particular song or whatever like that, you just kind of incorporate different Hendrix isms, Curtis Mayfield, Bobby Womack. You just kind of
give us a chord progression and then show us kind of.
So like. And instead of playing this E major, like, I might play. And that's, like those guys wrote the book on.
Yeah.
So that's just the same stuff. You play a lot of things that we all play. I might just do it in a slightly different way.
Sure.
You
know what? Hendrix wise, let me chime in on something real quick. A lot of people get lost with that whole world, and there's if you take each chord shape and you picture, if you know the pentatonic scales around them, the notes that he's playing from, like say you're taking this, this would be like called an E-shaped chord. You can think of the pentatonic shape, the second position being under that, and that's where all that stuff comes from. And then if you add the third, this one behind it, that's where all the...
Totally.
Right? And then when you're in, say we go to E, it's like this, and he was doing that kind of stuff. Just imagine that shape one. And then that'll give you... that, and then when you're here, then that connects to this other one right here. Right? So a lot of it is just seeing, knowing, you can impose a pentatonic shape over a chord shape, and that's where a lot of that stuff comes from. Now, the way that you do it is super cool.
Yeah.
You have different ways of doing it that aren't just super typical like that. So I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to kind of give people...
that was awesome. I just learned something. I was like, wow, really?
to give people, because I remember watching the first time I really, obviously I was a Hendrix fan, but the first time I saw somebody do that was the Eric Johnson video when he starts playing Bold as Love in that first video he did. And I was like, how is he doing that? And then figuring out those songs like Bold as Love, and that's like, you start to see those, that's them from that shape,
Yeah.
But he still does it in such a unique way. I know he's not thinking that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that's an easy way to start down that road. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
With what you were doing.
I mean, for me, I just kind of like got a bunch of little patterns that I can work off of different chords with.
Okay.
So, I mean, like... Just like you were saying.
So you have that like, when the notes go together really well, like when you do the hammer-ons and you let everything ring. I mean, you have so many different God, what are some of the songs like Electric Ladyland stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of. Yeah.
Well, you know,
you let the notes ring like he does. It sounds like him when you're doing it.
Well, I've been listening to him for 35 years.
Yeah, no, but that's that part of it's really hard to like.
Yeah, I understand what
you know
saying.
what I mean.
Yeah,
like when I heard "Bold as Love," the isolated track, I was like, oh my god,
it's like what is all this different stuff?
Yeah, it's like 10 times cooler than what you're hearing on the album because you realize how long he'll hold his thumb. You're hearing the thumb while he's doing all that other
like
stuff.
Even like a Rolling Stone on the live, at Monterey. It's like that still to me is like, what in the world is he doing?
It's so good.
It's just he's singing over there.
Yeah, one of the best. He is one of the best rhythm players of all time. Like he doesn't get enough credit for that. Anyways, you got to do some more of that because it's so good. You got that.
Oh, sorry. But that's more of the R&B way, like you might hear Bobby Womack play that on a Wilson Pickett record. Record, that's the key word. So
wait, so who is that?
That's
Bobby Womack, is that
Bobby Womack.
Now is he in a band or is he like a session?
Oh, he was everything. Bobby Womack wrote songs for Wilson Pickett and so many people. He played guitar. He was an artist in his own right. Like all of this stuff.
What are some good? Because I've never gone down that road.
Well, I think Wilson Pickett, like him playing, Wilson Pickett, "I'm in Love" is a good one, and I don't know why I'm drawing such a.
Because I'm putting you on the spot.
Midnight Mover record and like all of that kind of certain era. You really hear, a lot of that kind of. And then he had an introduction he done like "Fly Me to the Moon." All of that kind of like, Bobby Womack, Reggie Young.
Who's Reggie Young?
Reggie Young was a phenomenal session guitar player who had ties in Memphis as well as here.
Okay.
Like what? He played on so many country records and all different kinds of stuff. He's playing like the original Memphis Soul Stew, that's him, and then Cornell Dupree obviously played the live version, but he was the one who played it first and just so many different things, Yeah.
I gotta do a rhythm deep dive.
Yeah, totally.
If he's getting me to play like that, I've got to do some research.
Yeah, all of those little things like that. You know?
Okay, so what was the last style you played in the intro? I don't even.
We're playing some swing, and I grew up in California. And there was a big West Coast jump blues swing thing. And also, same time as the big band, like Brian Setzer and those guys were doing that. And I was just kind of, it's kind of implying that big band thing on the guitar, basically. So you play a boogie woogie, usually. If you got two guitars, one will play a boogie woogie.
What's a boogie woogie? Okay, so can you break that down?
Awesome. That's just, just playing that boogie woogie and then doing accents, which is hard to explain.
That sounds hard enough. Okay, so there's more. With that other thing?
Yeah, well, not at the same time.
I was going to say,
at the same time, but almost.
Yeah, dude, you got it.
But that's the idea. You're playing.
You just imagine girls flying in the air.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, that's basically, you know.
Yeah.
I played that like 8 million times with different bands.
Well, you know, too, the Rockabilly guys.
Yeah.
Blast. Some of those guys are just monster rhythm players.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then you just work off little things, little triads, you know. You know, just little things like that.
Yeah.
You know, like little triads and.
So what if it was just you, it's Kirk Fletcher, and you're going through playing a song? Like, how would you kind of get all of that in one thing?
Oh yeah, like you know, it depends on the feel. Like if it was straight up more like kind of rocking, that kind of thing, almost leaning into the rockabilly, I might play like. You know, something like that. I might play all the different things, you know.
See, this is it. Like I could probably say anything like, well, how did that guy in Slayer? And you'd be like, oh yeah, right.
No. We won't put Kirky on the hot seat with Slayer.
Man, bro.
Although good band.
Okay, so wait a minute. So I've got to know, like, what is the progression that you went through in life to like do all of these different styles? Because like you're doing them like top level, like really well.
Well, thrown in the water basically on that.
With who?
Kind of stuff. You know, like, well, at that time when I started out playing in the blues scene,
okay,
a lot of California, there was a lot of West Coast jump blues by people like James Harmon, Rod Piazza, Al Blake and the Hollywood Fats Band. All of these bands, you kind of had to do that too, as well as play like Chicago blues.
Okay.
You know, because they would jump and people would dance. There were clubs like Linda's Dog, the Blue Cafe, the Cafe Boogaloo. These places had dance floors, so you would have to do that.
Dance wars. You've been served.
Totally. as well as...
No way.
You know, too. So you had to kind of play all of these different styles in one night.
Who we need to get you hooked up with is RJ.
Everybody. RJ knows about all that.
No, because he's a huge West Coast blues and jump blues.
RJ, totally.
You guys would have a good old time. Okay, it's down. Let us know in the comment section below if you want to see that happen, because it's going down. All right, so I don't even know how we would even just break down what you did. Like,
I don't either.
I got it. Okay, so here's the tip. So down there's the YouTube player, right? And down below there's like a settings thing, and you can slow it down to like 50%.
And I can give some recommendations too of some of that stuff, like James Harmon, Dangerous Gentlemen, Those Dangerous Gentlemen.
Okay.
Al Blake, Hollywood Fats Band, Rock This House. Rod Piazza, anything by Rod Piazza and the Mighty Flyers. Junior Watson is an incredible guitar player who plays in that style, among many other things.
So out of the guys you just mentioned, like, who are some of the guys again?
Hollywood Fats.
Okay, so like, what's something that he would sound like?
Oh, I mean, Hollywood. Oh man, I'm gonna sound terrible.
It's okay. It's just the idea. Okay.
You know, that kind of thing.
Terrifying. What's the other guys?
You know, that kind of thing.
Him?
Sorry.
What was the next? I can tell you're just super into it.
I was like, man.
Okay. Did you say him? Who else did you say?
Hollywood Fat Junior Watson.
Okay, what's Junior Watson?
Junior Watson is gonna be a little of everything, but he plays in that style too, and he played with the band Rod Piazza and the Mighty Flyers, but he's been a solo artist forever. Also, you know, and you know, he's coming more from I mean, all of that kind of stuff. I mean,
that's like it's humorous guitar playing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's got a thing. It's supposed to make you feel
good.
Happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. Okay, so what's there's another. You said another guy.
That kind of ties in with that BB King thing too. Like the early BB King. Or even if you take it a step further back, you can get into like T-Bone Walker,
Okay. Wait a second. Wait. So Stevie Ray just totally pinched that in Riviera Paradise.
Oh, well.
I was just kidding.
I mean, maybe a little.
I'm just kidding.
T-Bone, Stevie, if he was alive, he would definitely.
How could you not be influenced?
That's Texas blues.
Yeah.
T-Bone Walker,
Yeah.
It's got that jazzy kind of thing, but still just playing straight up pentatonic. See, It's all about implying things, adding that swing feel and stuff. That's sort of my whole shtick.
You got a lot of shticks in your bag.
No, man.
All right. So anyways, he's got an amazing course, Player's Perspective with Kirk Fletcher. It's going to be linked down below. It goes over, again, it's more about a feel course. Yeah. Some of that stuff's in there, but definitely something that everybody can learn from. Yeah. Also, your links are going to be down below, so check out that stuff. He's fantastic live. Make sure you go see him when he's in your town. He tours all the time, and I know this because I always try to get him. He's like, "Oh, I'm on tour until 2029." But now that he's in town, it's like, oh, he's down the street.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in town.
So here he is. But anyways, make sure you check that out. And then also just leave in the comment section anything that you'd like to see, because we're going to try to get him over here more frequently.
Woo-hoo.
Also try to get him to do a couple more courses with us, because, man, this one coming out has just been so good. But anyways, thank you so much for your guys' support. This is all because of you. And your support at BrettPapa.com actually gets players like him over here so we can film courses and get cameras from all angles and all this other stuff in here. It's crazy if you could just see it. But it all is brought here to you by your support. So thank you so much for that. Also, make sure to subscribe, click the bell to be notified when the new videos come out, because videos like this are popping out all the time. So you guys are amazing. Thank you for the continued support. Kirk, thank you. I'm super honored to have you here.
Honored
to have
be
done
here.
that course with me. It was amazing. We'll catch you guys later.